a marvelous project that we are doing in partnership with Modern Greek Studies program and also History of Art at the University of Michigan for the fall term. And throughout the term, we'll be bringing internationally known graffiti artists to do work on campus and also in town. I think what's really important about a project like this is it really takes engagement out of buildings, out of the classroom and onto the street. And that's really what street art and graffiti and murals are about, a public engagement and conversation and in thinking about ideas together in real time on the street, not sequestered away.
So this is black, this is black. I don't even know what I've done here. This is black here. So my work is divided between the work that I do in my studio and the work I do in the streets. Street art is a very different canvas because it's always large scale. So I physically can't do the stuff that I do in my paintings where I use very specific like blue pigments and porcelain and a lot of materials that you can only really use when it's small scale. The street art, I usually do black and white just because when I'm out in the street the urban fiber is usually so colorful and there's so much stimulation that I end up retreating into like black and white, I don't know, detoxing from the colors around me, I guess, in a sense. It's gonna look like something like a temple crumbling down, sort of half of it being ruins and actually standing up. Then there is a bit of madness there with like buses and cars turning over in the air. And then there is one more figure, something like a statuesque, monumental figure that could look like the figure of justice, but she's blindfolded. And it's just meant to evoke a bit of mystery, a bit of surrealism, if you like, in the landscape.
Graffiti is an international phenomenon, and the visual language, of course, is also very international. As a starting point, we can say that this art is out of context, right? It's not in its context. Olga paints in Istanbul, Cacao, and in other cities in Europe. Cacao paints in Athens and in other cities in Europe. In fact, some people say that Athens today is the Mecca of street art. So in looking at Greek culture and thinking about what I teach, in Athens, we have austerity. We have lots and lots of shrinking things, shrinking budgets. We have culture on some level shrinking, but at the same time, we have this explosion of street art. We have a burst of color and of paint and of writing all over Athens of graffiti.
The last 5 years, a lot of street artists from around the world are coming to Athens because it's like a playground. And you can paint almost everywhere. Graffiti is biggest in quantity art movement in human history, I think. Street art, it's another thing. Street art is just art in the public space. Graffiti has a code, it's a movement, it's a language, it's something else. So I'm honored to be a part of this movement. Sometimes what we paint have an impact in the society, especially when it's a political message, and this is happening a lot in Greece. We can do more stuff to change our world. If we want to change our world, then the least I can do is to put some colors on the wall.